Hello everyone and welcome to Ripto. I'm Christian and today I've got another great altcoin video for you. And that is another banger that seems to be ready to pump and has been flying under the radar for so long now. Now obviously the token you can see behind me is Vechain. And we are so bullish on Ripto on Vechain that thinks it is worth an investment. In fact, we've been bullish on Vechain for a long time now and we invested in this a long time ago. But I'm going to tell you some facts, fiction, FUD, good, all that kind of cool stuff in this video. So if you want to know more about Vechain and why we think it's going to pump, stay tuned and let's get into it. Welcome. So before I go into today's awesome video, I have to say that anything you see, hear or choose to ignore in this video is not financial advice. I'm no financial advisor, no. This bad boy is here for your educational purposes only. And boy, what a ride is crypto proving to be. So with that being said, let's jump straight into market cap, price percentage and see what Vechain's doing. And I'll give you a little bit of information and background about Vechain before we jump into their cool website. So with that being said, let's dive in. Ooh, so here we are, Vechain. And as you can see behind me, it has pumped around about 5%. It's floating between 4 and 5%. But for me, Vechain is a bit of a sleeping giant, and I've been bullish on Vechain for some time now. I brought this way back last year in a roughly around, I think, this kind of October, November time. But for me, Vechain is only being limited on things like Coinbase and other aspects because of China. What China was saying about cryptocurrency, Vechain is heavily connected to China, being a supply chain for China and it's like a blue chip kind of company, and it has all them kind of connections. But now that's kind of settling down and China are doing their usual kind of rubbish U-turn, saying, well, crypto isn't that bad because obviously they're adopting it and their own token, and they're starting to sort of relax a little bit now, as they do, because they're just crazy. We're starting to see Vechain do some good pumps, and as you can see just from this basic chart behind me, you can see Vechain's been making some headways today, which is why I wanted to cover it, because obviously a lot of people are going to be looking at what's doing well in the market and what's pumping and what's dumping, and they can see Vechain starting to take momentum and probably want to know why, and is it a safe bet? Well, we want to look on here what's going on the website, the socials, the price percentage, but all important price chart action. So as you can see, Vechain taking a 5% pump. Let's jump straight in now to their website. Boom. As you can see, their website very heavily Chinese up. You've still got, obviously it's the English version, as you can see up here. And you've got loads of cool information on there about solutions, which is a massive drop down list of all of this stuff. You've got products and services, etc. Then it's got an about us page, which gives you a lot of information about the team. And obviously they've got a massive team and a massive team of investors. They've got some big names, as you can see, PwC, massive name, Fenbush Capital, Draper Dragon. I mean, these have got some massive backers behind them. So if they're backing them, it would make sense that the small money would back them. So if that's what you need to convince yourself to even just look at Vechain, have a look at their website, see who's backing them, see what's going on with them. They're transparent with the team. They've got a lot of big companies backing them that are not silly, and companies that make big money. It tells you about the solutions, that it is a supply chain, and it goes into more depth, which we won't touch on this channel. But this is, to me, why I've always been bullish on Vechain, and Vechain's not really let me down that much over the past nearly year or so. Well, just under a year. So what are the socials saying? Is there hype about Vechain? Well, let's have a look at their Twitter. Boom. Here we go. Vechain's Twitter. Massive 414.3k followers. Not verified, but this is, for me, probably down to political crap again. Obviously, he's saying it's based in Singapore. The usual stuff that you have to do, but it's got some good engagement. You can see it rocking and rolling up a little bit there. And it tells you about what's going on. Now, this is not a FUD, hype, spread the news kind of Twitter account. This is pure telling. It's more like a news board for Vechain. It tells you about what it's got coming up, obviously what's happening, what they're doing. It's got a lot of cool information about, you know, what they've got planning in the pipeline. All the great stuff really to sort of whet your appetite and give you some reassurance that Vechain's a good investment. So for me, Vechain's got the price percentage going in its favor with the pump, so it's on fresh on people's minds. People are sort of taking a few bits of profit out of the Ethereum pump and pumping it into the tokens below. Vechain probably one of them, and obviously it's got the social media background following. It's not news and not FUD. So for me, Vechain's more of a safer bet than it is a lot of the lower cap coins and a lot of the mains. But obviously you don't get more pumps and returns. But my price prediction for September is that Vechain's going to be up. Now, obviously we looked at Vechain just then, and we can sort of tell you that it's at 0.1449. So we'll be looking by the end of September for that to at least done a good percentage of a pump if the price prediction's right. We looked at the website, full of information, great stuff, a lot about the team, them, and the backers that are behind it. And we've looked at Twitter, their socials, their news board. They're telling you, they're transparent, they've got a lot what's going on. So all that leaves us to do now is the most important thing, is the price chart action to see, is there investment opportunity, and if so, when, where, and how. So let's jump straight into that price chart. Boom. So here we are, straight into the charts on what is happening with Vechain at the moment. And as you can see, it is on a massive uptrend. And as we speak here, it is on a bit of a pump. Now, this is just my personal kind of charting that I do on my alts through crypto. And as you can see there, I've already got my kind of buy box. So for instance, I've already bought into Vechain low. And this is a solid kind of area that Vechain has had a lot of rejection in the past. It's had rejection here on after the downside, and it's had rejection here the last time it tried to break it. So now we're actually seeing Vechain for the first time break this all important 1.46 level, which to me is really exciting. So this is a 4-hour chart. So this breaks through, does a 4-hour close, or even better, a daily close on this, and then starts going up. We can look to see Vechain confirm this as a support, and this would be another kind of buying a support buy box area for it to shoot up to another resistance area, which for me is all the way up here. I mean, I've had this in from all this price action here, and I do generally think Vechain is going to break its all-time high all the way up here at 0.28, which is still got a long way to go. In percentage wise, we're probably still looking at another 1x, another 100% here before it even gets near its all-time high. So for me, it's closer to the bottom than it is to the all-time high, and I do genuinely believe Vechain will break its all-time high, so by the end of the year, beginning the next. So for me, it's still relatively low and young. If we have a look at the price chart from when it absolute bottomed out here to where it is now, we're talking probably 140%, so 1.4x, which is makes it pretty much halfway to its all-time high. So you're looking at a halfway point. So for me, is Vechain still a good investment? I personally think so. I think Vechain has got a lot more upside. As you can see from this chart here, Vechain is pretty much on a massive uptrend. It did have a little bit of sideways consolidation here at these kind of support levels, but it sort of bounced off these and found its momentum up. And you've got to think this was only over kind of the last half a month. So the last 2 weeks, it's only gone sideways, which is, to me, it's very healthy. You know, we wanted to see it go up. We wanted to see it find a resistance, come back down, sort of cement a support, do a bit of consolidation, sideways action, and then bang, break out and pump to start breaking it up to higher highs and higher lows. Whereas at the moment, everything's been kind of flat, sideways, and trading in what I call the stalled kind of momentum. Whereas here we had higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, all the way up until it stalled, consolidation period, breakout, past this, test this resistance, put it into support, which will put it as a higher high here, and then onto higher highs, higher lows, on its way up to this next kind of resistance area, which will either be, looking at the way the price chart action's going, this optimistic and very realistic would be this kind of area here, to maybe have a test of the 1.7017 area, because as you can see here, there's been a lot of rejection and a lot of kind of resistance and support around these areas, as has there been this area here. So these will be the key markers that I'll be looking at for Vechain. Now obviously we like to buy at support, sell at resistance, wait for a retrace, buy at support, sell at resistance, and just keep accumulating with your same pot more and more of the asset, the token, as you go along, just by watching a chart, setting up a couple of price alerts and timing it right. Now of course there's going to be some times where you have breakouts or you have dumps. I think at the moment, the way the bull market's going and the way things and the momentums are going, and you can have a look here where we've had a lot of green days and it is really alt month. I don't think the dumps are going to be that drastic, but I think the pumps are going to outweigh the dumps. So for me, I'm looking to layer in. Now, let me know what you think and how you trade. This is just from my technical analysis and expertise, but leave a comment below and I'll try and reply as I can. But for me, I still think Vechain's got a lot more to show us, and I do think it's probably a sleeping giant in the fact that if you want to take some of your profits out of any of the shite, the MAME, the insane coins that you've been investing in and put it into things that are pumping like Ethereum, always a backer, but I think that's trading at a high now. So from this space to 4K is going to be a tricky area. Vechain, I think, is still a lot more upside and potential, as I do think other tokens that we'll cover later on in channel like Rune, Tezos, and of course some that the NFT kind of madness. So that's my thoughts, reviews, overviews and news on what I think is going to happen with Vechain. But like I say, let me know what you think. If you think Vechaine's a good investment or it's a bad investment, whether you don't agree with my technical analysis or you do. But also jump over to our Telegram, links in the bio. It's just crypto Ripto _ and we'll have a lot of discussions in there, because like I say, I'm putting my low end new to the market coin calls in there. I'm going to be answering some of the questions live, which are easier to answer if you want to pick my brains on any knowledge or anything. Just sometimes I'll pop in and out there for a quick chat, but it's just a nice, cool, safe, opium free, kind of scam free bullcrap area. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed this quick video on Vechain, just to get your appetite wet for you to go do your own research, do your own due diligence, and as always, trade smart, trade safe, and don't get wrecked.